You ever purchase a tool and were so impressed with the quality of that tool, you asked yourself, what other tools does this brand make? Well, that's exactly what happened to me. So stumbling across a brand that has high quality at an affordable price is often difficult to do in today's inflated prices, especially when it comes to a brand that nobody's heard of before. And I just recently did a tool tech talk on one of this brand's tools, and I was so impressed with that tool that I knew I needed to check out some others. So what's the name of this brand? Well, it's called InoKraft. Oh, I've heard of them. They're my favorite. It's InoKraft, not craft. What'd I say? Are you doing that craft thing again like you did with the MaXpray video? Jeez! Never mind, just hand me that first tool. You know I got you, cuz. Here you go. Oh. So this first tool we'll take a look at is the InoKraft Mini Chainsaw. Now we're not going to dive too deeply into this tool as I did an entire video on this on a recent Tool Tech Talk. However, this is the tool that really impressed me with this brand. So let's do a quick review on what impressed me so much about this tool. First impressions are everything, and the packaging with this tool is impeccable. And if we look right inside the box, you can see there's a very clear message, and this tool is all about safety. One of the first things you'll notice is it comes with a really nice holster or sheath. And fashion is everything when using this chainsaw. You can use this either as a belt or even a man purse. But that's not the only safety feature included with this tool. If we take a look at the design of the chainsaw, you'll see it resembles a shark. It's the fin on top that gives support to your hand and prevents your hand from sliding forward towards the blade. Speaking of the blade, there's 3 more safety features right next to that chain. The first is the chain itself. This tool comes pre-installed with an anti-rebound chain, which prevents kickback. And right above that chain is a clear blade guard that will protect you while still being able to see your cut. And at the base of the chain, you'll see the third safety feature, which is the anti-kickback teeth. And there's also 2 other safety features on the very comfortable cork grip. On the very bottom of the grip, you'll notice there's a knuckle guard, preventing debris from flying up and hitting your hand. And something that I find quite remarkable about this chainsaw is it's truly designed to be a one-handed chainsaw. The trigger is always locked until you're ready for operation by clicking the yellow safety latch. And the safety latch is on both sides of the tool, making this truly a right-handed or left-handed chainsaw. So you can see how this tool's attention to detail on safety really impressed me, especially with a tool that's oftentimes considered a little bit dangerous. And not only that, but this thing also comes with 2 batteries so that you can have one charging while you're doing all of your work. And I was able to cut through this hardwood maple with ease up to 4.5 inches wide, making this an excellent way to get free stock either out of firewood or a tree that's fallen in your yard. So if you'd like more information about this InoKraft Mini Chainsaw, I'll leave a link in the description below to the Tool Tech Talk that I did on this tool. But that's enough about that mini chainsaw. Let's get into some of the new tools that I got from InoKraft to see how they compare. Yeah, let's check out some of them other tools. What the hell are you doing? I don't get it. Of course, a pretty boy like you wouldn't understand. Craft beer, is that what you're doing? Going bushcraft ain't bad with a 6er. That's not what that means. Can you hand me that next tool? Of course I got you, cuz. Here you go. So this is the InoKraft Drywall Sander. Let's check it out. So I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I have a whole lot of drywall sanding experience, because I just don't. But I do have a whole lot of sanding experience, and I've got a large project coming up that's going to involve some drywall. And I don't want to destroy some of my favorite woodworking sanders doing that drywall, so that's why I got this tool. So let's open up that box and see what comes with this InoKraft Drywall Sander. So once again, everything in this box appears to be packaged very nicely, and right on top comes the quick start guide. So there's a lot of items that come in this box, so let's take a quick look at what it comes with. So let's first take a look at all the accessories that come with this kit. As you can see, there's 4 mesh sanding discs, and this has 80, 120, 180, and 240. There's also some safety goggles, 3 different vacuum hose adapters to attach to your dust collector, some O-rings, a hex wrench, a shoulder strap system, and a storage bag. Now let's take a quick look at the main unit itself. And here you'll see that drywall sander is actually collapsible, allowing it to fit into that storage unit. There's also an extension pole as well as a vacuum hose. To assemble the sander, we'll first unfold the handle and lock the folding lock. And if desired, you can also add the extension pole and lock it into place with the latch. And when this tool is fully extended, it has a reach of 65 inches exactly. Now for demonstration purposes, I'm going to leave that extension pull unattached just to make it a little bit easier on myself. Now it's time to add the dust collection hose. And this is done by placing the vacuum hose into the dust extraction port and rotating the extraction hose lock. Once we have that dust collection hose attached, there's really only one more thing left to do to get this thing entirely assembled, and that's simply to attach the arm strap. And this is really only used if you're using that extension pull. You simply slide this clip over the extension pull and tighten it down with this wing nut. And then it's just a matter of clipping on the arm strap. Now that we have this drywall sander fully assembled, let's take a look at some of its features. At the very base of the tool, you'll see it's got a very comfortable rubber grip along with the on and off button. Another nice feature of this unit is you can easily adjust the speed of the sander right from the handle itself, as there's a yellow rotary button on the left-hand side of the handle that allows you to increase the speed or decrease the speed with your thumb. Now let's migrate down to the foot of the tool to check out the sander itself. As I mentioned earlier, this sander uses a hook and loop system, and it comes with 4 mesh sanding discs, and it has about a 9-inch span. Now, judging from my experience with drywall, I'm assuming that dust can be a real issue when sanding. But you'll notice there's a nice bristled rim around the entire perimeter of the sander to keep that dust contained. Now, I would recommend using mesh sanding discs when using this tool. However, if we remove that mesh sanding disc, you'll notice that there's standard holes on the bottom to use normal sandpaper. You'll also notice that the sanding pad has a foam backing to allow it to adjust to your sanding surface. Now let's flip this over and take a look at the top of the sander. The first thing that you'll notice is this large yellow knob in the front that allows you to adjust the suction power. That's right, you can hook this thing up to a dust collector, but it also has internal suction to collect the dust into its bag. And this sander's got powerful motors. It's equipped with an 820 watt motor with variable speeds from 600 to 1900 RPM. Now, as I said earlier, I encourage people to use the mesh sandpaper, as one piece of mesh sandpaper lasts about 10 times longer than your standard paper. Since the mesh design has numerous holes, it improves dust collection and efficiency and also gives a smoother finish. You'll also notice a little red button on the side of the sander. Let's plug this thing in to see what that does. With the tool plugged in, I can press this red button and you'll instantly see what makes this tool so unique. That's right, this thing instantly turns into something that resembles a UFO, which I think they're calling UAPs now. With the lights turned off, you can see how well these lights clearly show you your workspace. Not only does this sander provide a lot of light, but it also has a lot of flexibility. Now, InoKraft only claims 90 degrees of rotation, but I'm seeing closer to 120 degrees. And there's also a unique feature in case you need to hit high points like your ceiling, as the sander has a large rubber band with 2 hooks that allow you to lock it into place. And with that rubber band engaged, it locks it into place so that you can hit those high spots. So let's turn this thing on and give it a quick test. We'll first flip the on and off switch and take a look at its slowest rotation at 600 RPM. And as you can see, it's got a nice, consistent counterclockwise rotation. Now let's slowly adjust the speed dial to get it up to 1900 RPM. And even at its highest speed, you can see it's got a nice consistent rotation. Now let's take a look at its onboard dust collection and see if it actually fills that bag with air. And just for demonstration purposes, I have this set to its highest setting, which I assume most people will have it set to. And you can see that bag quickly fills with air, which will contain all the dust from that drywall. Now that's all great, but let's actually do a real test and sand some drywall. So here's a scrap piece of plywood that I've done some rough patchwork on. So let's take this sander and see how well it works. And to do this, I'm going to put the 120 mesh onto that drywall sander, and I'm really interested to see how well it does with collecting that dust. Now, I'm obviously no professional at this, as I actually sanded through some of that drywall, but I am impressed with the results. Everything is silky smooth. Now, you may have seen some dust escaping when I took that sander over the edge of the plywood, and that's just because the vacuum was no longer able to be supported. But let's open up that bag and see how much was actually collected. Now, it is a little bit difficult to get it out of this bag since the bag is so large compared to what we collected, but as you can see, there's a reasonable amount of dust collected on this machine. Well, once again, I'm super impressed with the quality and attention to detail with this InoKraft brand. This is another tool that I expect to use in an upcoming project, so stay tuned and we'll use this tool together. Well, we've got one more InoKraft tool to take a look at, and this is one that I'm super excited about because I've got a lot of projects that need this tool. You see, there's only one thing in woodworking that I probably hate more than sanding, and that's finishing. Even though the finishing process makes all of our projects look that much better, I prefer the manufacture and assembly of woodworking. But we all know it has to be done, and we can do this finishing with rollers, paintbrushes, or even sprayers. And since I don't like finishing, spraying for me is not only the easiest, but it also looks the best in the end. So I decided to see what InoKraft has to offer for affordable airless paint sprayers, and I found one that I think might suit my needs. So let's check out
Pick up trucks, leave the flying to ducks! Pick up trucks, leave the flying to ducks!
What are you doing?
What the hell does it look like I'm doing?
Let me guess, aircraft, that's the best you got?
You really are an idiot, ain't you? I'm obviously at an anti-aircraft rally.
Will you just hand me that sprayer?
This one right here? I got you, bro. Here you go.
So this is the InoKraft MaXpray M1. Let's check it out. So this machine is meant to compete with the Graco machine, but this is quite a bit cheaper at $240. But let's take it out of the box and see exactly what comes with it. So once again, really nice packaging with the instructions right on top. And I'll have to say, with all of these InoKraft tools, it's really the quick start guide that's really impressed me. It allows you to get right into the tools without a whole lot of preparation. And this sprayer not only comes with that quick start guide, but it also comes with the user manual and something that I haven't seen before, which is a troubleshooting guide and instructions. Now let's take a look at some of the accessories that also come with this sprayer. And I've already noticed one thing which is very important if you've ever owned a spray gun. You'll first notice that it comes with protective goggles as well as a canvas pouch that contains 2 brand new wrenches as well as cleaning utensils. And those cleaning utensils are key because if you've ever owned a sprayer, you know the secret to long-term functional use with that sprayer is keeping it clean after every use. You'll also notice that it comes with the M1 pump, the extension hose, as well as the extension tip. And that extension tip comes nicely protected in this cardboard cylinder, which is great because I've actually had these things kink on me during shipping. The last thing that you'll find is the spray gun itself. And this has got a very comfortable grip to it, and it even has a rubber handle. So let's take a look at those quick start instructions and get this thing assembled so that we can test it out. The first thing that we're going to do is to attach the paint hose to the sprayer. To do this, we'll first remove the caps on both ends of the hose and attach it to the sprayer using the 2 included wrenches. Next, we'll attach the other end of the hose to the sprayer by removing the protective tip and screwing it onto the sprayer using the 2 included wrenches. Now that we have the sprayer assembly and the hose attached, let's go over some of the features of the sprayer. Let's first take a look at the spray gun itself. Just like with all spray guns, you have the ability to switch the spray from vertical to horizontal by simply twisting the front. Now you may have noticed that little yellow tab in the front, and you're probably wondering what that's for. Well, that is the reversible spray tip. If your sprayer stops working, you most likely have a clog. By twisting the yellow arrow from forward to backwards, this puts it in the unclogged position. Once it's in this position, you can spray into a waste area and return the sprayer to the spray position. This sprayer also allows you to do a continuous spray. By simply turning the lock knob on the side, you can consistently paint. Now let's take a look at the features of the pump. On the very top, you'll conveniently find the protected on and off switch. You'll also find a holder for the paint tube right on the side. Up front, on the right-hand side, you'll find the spray and prime switch. And on the left-hand side, you'll find the pressure knob, both for priming and spraying. And directly underneath the pump, you'll find the push start valve that you push right before priming. And that's about it. As you can see, this is a pretty simple device, and that's because this device is geared towards beginners. So let's test this sprayer out. There's 2 things that I want to do with this sprayer. Let's first paint that drywall that we sanded earlier. And once we're done painting that drywall, I then want to test the cleaning function, which they call the quick tube cleaning. And to easily show you on camera the paint distribution of this sprayer, we're going to go with black.
Well, you ain't ever going back, is you?
I know, let's hope it works. So I'm first going to plug the sprayer into a grounded outlet. With the sprayer now plugged in, I can take the paint hose and place it into a 1-gallon or 5-gallon bucket. Now that we have the paint hose in the paint, I'm going to turn the unit on, switch the unit to prime, switch the pressure valve to prime, and then hit the push start button. Once that paint has been sucked up into the sprayer, we can then switch the sprayer to the spray mode. And you'll notice as I spray this piece, the pump will actually stop once it reaches its optimal pressure for spraying. And hopefully you can see how evenly coated that spray is after one coat. Now for some reason that recorded in slow motion, so let's do another piece of drywall so that you can see it in real time. And once again, beautiful even results. But if you know anything about spraying, you'll know that that's only half the battle, so let's test out its cleaning function. To clean this, we're going to take the paint tube and place it into a 5-gallon bucket of water. Once we've done that, we can turn it on and set it to prime. After that, we'll take the spray gun and place it into the lock position and place it into the bucket as well. By having it in the spray position and it locked in the spray position, you'll circulate that water, cleaning out all the tubes. Once we've let it circulate for a bit, we'll dispose of the dirty water and place that paint hose into a clean bucket of water. Then we can take an empty bucket and spray all that clean water into this bucket. And once clean, you can see how clear that tube is that was once black. And the only other piece that needs to be cleaned is your paint gun, which can be done at your utility sink with your included brushes. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's InoKraft video. It just goes to show there's a lot of brands out there that make quality tools that we just don't know about. Well, once again, I really appreciate you joining me, and if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and leave a comment. It really does help out this woodworking channel. Also, make sure you check out my website, www.flynndogwoodwork.com. There you can find all sorts of fun woodworking accessories like all the t-shirts that I wear in my videos. Until next time, take care as always.